What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and I got a couple news and information updates for you today as the off-season program begins, actually, because the Dolphins are one of a handful of teams that have a new head coach, and so they have started their off-season program. I apologize for being a little bit late to this party. The past few days have just kind of like slipped by for me. It feels like I just did my last video yesterday, and as it turns out, that was like 3 days ago. So sorry about that. And we are now into day 2 of the offseason program, which is one of the things that I want to discuss quickly in today's video. Some of the other things, though, is let me go ahead and mention as I pull this up and get ready to go into it. Not only has the offseason program started, but yesterday Nik Needham signed his tender. There we go. His free agent tender. So, back with the Dolphins. And yeah, so like I said, they are getting into the offseason program. So let's go ahead and start it. It is now obviously April 5th. Dolphins set to begin offseason workouts on April 4th, which of course was yesterday. Today is day 2. There's not really a lot that comes out from this, so as far as like, anything tangible that we can discuss, like we don't really get to, see them on the field or anything, nothing like that yet. Obviously, it's super early, but the program has begun and the players are now getting in there. They're going to get their playbooks. They've gotten their playbooks and they're starting to get things kicked off. So the excitement surrounding the 2022 Miami Dolphins is at an all-time high, which of course it is, because, no matter what happens with the Dolphins in the season, we're always, when I say we as a collective fan base are always super excited in the offseason and are super pumped up for the season, just for it to generally be a disappointment. Hopefully that's going to turn around, and hopefully that won't be the case this year. But, and I do think that there are some elements that are different and, hopefully enough to overcome some of the same elements that currently exist that have held us back for a while, particularly some of the people at the top, right? But we'll see how it plays out. So there is a lot of excitement, though. Obviously, Xavier Howard just got locked up. We brought in Tyreek Hill, and, there was a video that they put out yesterday of, Hill coming into the facility, obviously a bunch of players. So it is really exciting. This is the time of the year for Dolphins fans, because generally the seasons aren't very exciting. So this is when we get all of our excitement in. But of course, if you guys know me, I don't really get my emotions invested until the season begins and I actually see what the product is. So, I just kind of go along for the ride and like to absorb the information and the transactions and the things that happen over the course of the offseason so I can gather information to make an assessment. Because it's just too early in the process right now. So anyway, but if you listen to what head coach Mike McDaniel has been preaching this offseason, one thing remains abundantly clear. Nothing really matters until the players are in the classroom learning the foundation of Miami's new offensive system. And I mean, obviously nothing really matters until, you start playing in meaningful games and it actually counts, right? This is all just the preparation for that. Now, it's all super important, of course, don't get me wrong, but that's when it actually counts, is week 1 of the regular season and then after, every week subsequent to that. So, it's a little bit of perspective and a little bit of, semantics, I guess, but now's just kind of the it's the preparation stage, right? And it's super important, but it doesn't count towards anything, like officially. It's weird, right? But that's how it works. Here's what Mike McDaniel said last week at the NFL's annual league meeting about quarterback Tua Tagovailoa and the rest of Miami's offensive players. I hope not, because we haven't been able to meet about football yet. So in regards to Tua and really any player on our offense, the nuts and bolts really begin April 4th for us when we start phase 1. You try to have good players on your team on both sides of the ball, as well as special teams. You try to empower players by having good teammates, and then you just, as boring as it is, you have to deliberately engage day in and day out to really get the end result that everybody wants. So have we done enough? We've barely even scratched the surface. I mean, that's all right. They've literally just begun. So there is no shortcut to do anything great in this league. And as much as you like to say bold this, that, or the other, there's no shortcut. There's no secret. It's guys coming in together, trying to work for a common goal and becoming the best offense, which has, remember, football is 11 separate players working together in unison at the same time. And that's what we're going to start working on Monday. Each and every day, we're going to be challenging Tua to be his very best, as well as every other player on the offense. Absolutely, man. And I mean, look, he's a first-time head coach just doing this now. He's obviously did things that were way better than Brian Flores and thus has a much better chance, in my opinion, like surrounding himself with good coaches and established veteran coaches. So I do think that is a major plus and advantage for him, but he is still a young head coach, first year. It is an entirely new offensive staff. There are, some shakeups on the defensive side of the staff-wise. We don't really know for sure if they're going to keep the exact same system or how that's going to be changed up or tweaked. It is an entirely new offensive system. There are a ton of new faces, player-wise in the building, right? So, yes, it's exciting, and I am personally cautiously optimistic, I'm optimistic, but cautiously because of some of these things, right? Like, you got to keep it all in perspective, and you got to keep it all in balance, and you got to look at the big picture. It is exciting, and I do think that with some of their philosophies, they're working on the offensive line, brought in some, a couple good guys so far. Hopefully they're going to do more, right? They've, addressed the wide receiver position. They're going to run the ball more, right? So, and we know that to be, part of a lot of these coaches' base philosophies, right? The offensive coordinator, the offensive line coach, all of these different guys have this in their blood, in their DNA. So, there's definitely a lot of excitement, but a lot of Dolphins fans, and I'm not this kind of a fan, right? Like, I'm not the kind of fan that just gets into the offseason, sees all of the potential and the excitement, and then just super hones in on that and forgets about anything or ignores anything that could be even close to being negative or a con or a downside or any of that stuff, just because I want to stay stuck in, positivity. The reason why I don't do that is two things. One, I'm just super logical, super fact-based. I like things to be proven to me first, but also because not just with the Dolphins, but in my life in general, the more I get my hopes up, the bigger the disappointment is, right? So, it just doesn't make sense to me to do that. It's fine to get excited for the potential, but you also got to have the balance and understand and acknowledge the potential downsides as well. The potential good is great. And I mean, look, the last regime, I was so right about a lot of things. That team and that, the things that they were building had so much boom potential, but also a ton of bust potential. And I think that played out pretty close to how I said it was gonna at the very beginning of 2019. So, because 3 years in, I was a little wrong. I thought Greer was gonna go with Flores, but Flores goes, here we are. Now it's a whole new, and now we are in that position where we have a first-year head coach. There are gonna be some bumps and bruises along the way, right? Right now, I have us at about 9 wins. That's what that's and I know Dolphins fans will be like, oh, that's blasphemy, bro. Like, and I've seen Dolphins fans be like, oh, we're winning 13 games. No problem. We got the cheetah. Like, we got Armstead and Connor Williams, and it's 13 games guaranteed. I guess I would love to see it, but they still got a long way to go. And actually, though, if I'm being real, one of the things that I really like about Mike McDaniel is he seems to understand those types of things about life and about the world, and he doesn't go around making, like, outrageous exclamations about how things are going to turn out. He's just like, look, bro, and he said it some in this little statement, we got to go to work. we ain't done nothing yet. We're barely scratching the surface, right? So I do like that, and I think that bodes well for him and how he is going to manage this team. And I do think that gives it, another one of those little nuanced things that gives him a much better chance than, let's say, Brian Flores. Anyway, let me finish this up. Usually teams begin their offseason workouts in the middle of April, but with a new head coach in place, Mike McDaniel and his coaching staff will have their first opportunity to work with Miami's young group of players starting on April 4th, the beginning of the team's offseason workouts, which of course was yesterday. But I do want to give you the full schedule of the offseason programs, which this article has. So let's finish this up. 2022, this is just what, the NFL put out. And so I think we are like one of 4 or 5 teams. Let's see. Us, April 4th, the Giants, the Bears, the Saints. Yeah, so 4 teams that are all starting on April 4th, and then obviously everybody else is later, with April 11th being the next start time for teams. So yeah, anyway, most of these days players will be in the classroom, and there probably won't be a lot going on to get fans excited. As I mentioned, there's not a lot of activity or news for us that's going to come out, right? It's super basic right now, but an opportunity to see players arriving at the facilities early or making an impressive catch in shorts and a t-shirt will undoubtedly get my attention. Other important offseason dates for the Dolphins include the team's first voluntary mini camp, which is April 19th through 20th, and then offseason team activities, or OTAs, will begin 1 month later, starting on May 16th. And then, of course, that goes for, what is it, like a week or so? A couple weeks? I can't remember. And then they have about a month off. This is actually not the article that I wanted, as it turns out. Let me go back real quick. Because there was, I think it might be this one. Because I actually, oh yeah, here we go. So, because this actually has all of the dates. So, OTAs will take place from May 16th, 17th, 19th, 23rd through 24th, the 26th, and then June 6th through 7th. So it's like 3 weeks in total ish, like, of actual work time, but obviously there's like space in between because it's not just straight days. You have the 18th off, the 20th through the 21st, right? The 25th off, and then the 27th through a while, because June 6th and 7th and 9th and 10th, and then mandatory minicamp will be June 1st through 2nd, so that's obviously thrown in there in between as well. And then they'll be off for a month before the start of training camp, which is in August, middle of August, mid to back end of August is when training camp starts. So there you have it. That is it. So yeah, fun stuff. Again, sorry, I know I'm kind of late to the party. I don't know what happened in my past few days. It's funny because like all of ever since it became like a for sure thing that I was going to be going to Vegas and, at the end of April, and I was going to be there for the draft and, whatever, right? Like the back end of March went by super slow for me, but now like the beginning of April is starting to like fly by. Past few days, I don't know where they went. So I apologize for that and being a little bit late to this party, but I did want to make sure to make a video and get this stuff out to you because there was some good news there. Obviously, Nik Needham signed his tenure, and the offseason program has begun, and there are all the dates for you. So with that, let me get out of here. Before I do, make sure you check out the Rave On Sports App, the new fan-driven sports app for all of your sports, whether it be basketball, baseball, football, college, whatever you like, they got it, and they're looking to enhance your game day experience with live play-by-play coverage, live chats with other fans and content creators like myself, while also providing you with an arena to dispute the terrible officiating. So look for the links to that in the description box. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. Hope you guys appreciate my perspective. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Share my channel and videos with your friends and family. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. And of course, as always, follow me on Twitter at DillonTartaro, as well as on Instagram at Dolphins_with_Dillon. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.
7 seconds left. Tannehill will throw it, and this will end it after the shuttle. Miami runs around, circling, and look out! The Dolphins have done it. They keep their season alive. 69 yards. Wow. Pure joy. Miami wins it.